broadcast for a PACT meeting, which is the Quarry Bank and Dudley Wood. Thank you to the audience. Good evening. Thank you for going through this process with us. Every time we do it, we'll get better and better, but tonight is our first one, so, you know, I can practice on you and you can practice on me. And so I'm certain we know each other, but to the people who are watching, good evening. And this is PCSO.
Yeah, PCSO Frank Freeman. Bit nervous doing the first live broadcast, so bear with me if I do start stuttering, but I know you guys. Right, hello to everybody who's watching at home.
Brilliant. So just to explain a little bit about the live broadcast, and last time we did tweet we were going to do it, this was last month, and then we failed. That was a technology problem. But tonight you can tweet us at Bridie Hill, which is all one word, and then capital NHT, which stands for Neighbourhood Team. Or you can look on the hashtag, which is Ask QB and DW, as in Ask Quarry Bank and Dudley Wood. So Ask QB and DW. You should find us on there, and we've got somebody facilitating us, Neil, who's just out of the room, and he will monitor it. So people, hopefully, who are watching from home can send us little messages, ask us questions, anything relevant, anything that we're talking about. People from home or at work can join in. Is everything working here?
Yes.
Okay. And maybe we might get a question from out there that we can answer or we can discuss here, which is a real added bonus. So people don't have to come to the dedicated place where we are. They can interact with us. And we've got residents here who can also maybe give more of the personal side to our work side of the neighbourhood. So I'm just going to treat this like a normal PACT meeting because I can't do it any other way, and it shouldn't be any different for you really, the fact that we're broadcasting live. I would ask, if you have a burning desire to be inappropriate or swear, just to hold it in. I will try to do the same, and then at the end we can relax. If there's anything that's really personal or really a very specific matter that you don't think is for public consumption, we can talk about it at the end. And I think that's probably, there are always going to be issues like that, and that shouldn't be stopping you from coming, because I'm going to have to do it at the end of the meeting, if that's okay with you. So I'm going to start. I'm going to ask Frank to talk about the Bowling Green estate, which last time was our priority area. It's antisocial behaviour, it's motorbikes, it's car racing, it's big groups of not just youths but adults as well, making people feel uncomfortable outside their houses. It's the primary school giving reports to us that parents are feeling uncomfortable coming in collecting children. There's children at risk of fast-moving vehicles. And so we've been working with the council to put together what is called a public space protection order. I'm going to hand over to Frank.
Yeah, basically we're currently halfway through a consultation period that was instigated by the council. We're about 2 weeks in now. I think it started on about July the 6th and it will end on August the 2nd. We've got a few bits here that we can hand out to you guys here today, and we'll put any relevant links out to Twitter so people can link through and read the exact details on the internet. Just like Sarge said, we've been having problems very closely with the management on the antisocial behaviour side at Dudley Council, and we're trying to push forward one of the first PSBOs or public space protection orders around this area. Now, the Netherton area that's been struggling, as reported by you guys throughout the last PACT meetings and the Tenants and Residents Association meetings that we've been attending, will cover the streets like Bowling Green Road, Exeter Road, Chester Road, pretty much everything around the Netherwood Primary School area. I have got a map here that you guys can look at after. With the consultation running, what we're proposing to do and what behaviours we're trying to prohibit in that area, and to say whether or not they want this to go ahead or whether or not they want it to be an extended area, or any other concerns they might have, they can put forward as well. But that will keep going until the 2nd of August, so we've got about 2 more weeks. If anybody here or at home does want to get involved in that, we'll put the link up and we can have a look. And you just fill in a little survey with your views in that area. That's it. it will, basically what we're going to be trying to stop in that area from the problem. The proposal for the Netherton area will prohibit the dealing of drugs and the use of drugs. Also, we've been having a few issues with illegal highs. They're like little silver canisters that have got nitrous oxide in, that we've found a few people have been using them. They crack them open, put it into a balloon and then inhale it that way. This has got dangers, obvious dangers with oxygen leaving the brain. It's going to make people pass out. Yeah, they're at this sort of size, like silver. What they're actually used for is to use like in coffee shops with whipped cream canisters and things like that. That's what they're for.
Now this is slightly outside your area, but I went for more blood tests to the health centre in Netherton, with those on the car park at the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you find them just discarded, and sometimes with the balloons as well.
No, I didn't see any balloons.
But
I looked at that looks like what we described as those.
Yeah.
About 3 inches long, about 1 inch diameter.
That's it. That's exactly what they are. Obviously, around Netherton Primary School, it's a great concern as well with younger children being able to see this sort of behaviour in the area. So we're trying to prohibit the use of those legal highs in that area and get some sort of punishment if people are seen to be using them or have them. We're trying to stop the large groups that are congregating and causing a bit of an intimidation factor to local residents and school users also. And the other big one where we're getting most of our complaints is around the like the park area. It's called a multi-use gym area. It's a little basketball court right by Meadowbrook. But we've been having a lot of mopeds, motorbikes, go-karts, using the grass area to have a bit of a race around on and things. In the last month, we've had about between 10 and 15 logs specifically for that. So we'll continue to evidence that and get this put in the PSVO so that can be punishable as well if it's breached.
I think what's really interesting is from the new antisocial behaviour laws that have come through, we are going to be the first application for the West Midlands. So Dudley Council are taking the lead on it and we're supporting them. And it's out for consultation. And so when it's up and running, it runs for 3 years and it will work really well as well with the car cruising, the Black Country car cruising vans. So hopefully we'll be able to work in that area with some really additional powers and punishments, and also some really good guidance for people who are around there to know what they can and can't expect and what they can be supported with as well when they call and give us information, because it's not just us who will be able to enforce it, but the council will enforce it as well. So that's quite interesting. I know where you live, and I know it's not entirely relevant, but you know, it's interesting and it's new and it's quite reactive to what is really an ongoing persistent problem in that area, and it's a new way of tackling it. So we have to do it and see how well it can work, really. On the side of things, talking about the Bowling Green estate, which really borders with Sandwell in terms of council border and police border, and just as a PACT update, really, we've been over and spoken to Old Hill Police Station and the cops and the PCSOs who worked there in the last week. And we're going to try and do more and more of that because, funnily enough, a lot of people on that estate, all they have to do is go out of their door, turn left and they're on Dudley's area, turn right and they're on Sandwell. And unless we're really diligent about it, we know things they don't know, and vice versa. So we try and it practically is the boundary, yeah. So much better links being made there. No reason why we can't have that kind of communication, and it works well in terms of doing more or doing the same with less. Is that the more we talk, the more we communicate, and the more we share, the better off we're going to be, really. So happy with that. And in fact, in terms of locations and offenders, they knew more than us about some of our kids and the other way around. So it was a real benefit. So moving on with PACT things, I'm going to talk through the crime figures, and then I'd like to make a suggestion about a PACT priority, unless you want to shout out loud about something, so let me just explain what's been happening. Summing up from the last month, theft from motor vehicle is the one I really want to discuss. And for you here, but also for the people who are watching, if anybody has a view on this. We've broken it down really just to explain that whilst it is theft from motor vehicle, hard to really categorise it with 2 theft of the catalytic converters, so from the underbelly of the vehicle, high-grade metals inside, that's coming back within our area. So that's either somebody who is back on our area and is very good at it, somebody new, we don't quite know, but we have systems in place with the catalytic converter theft that can come in very quickly, and I'm quite comfortable with that, but still 2 is too many. And I would say to anybody who is watching this, if you can put a cage over your, or as it were, underneath your car to protect your catalytic converter. They're quite high value, they're very expensive to have to replace, and they really are something where you come out to your car in the morning, you don't even know it's gone. So you can if you're having a new one fitted, it can be property marked before it goes on, which is one way of tracing it as it comes then through the scrap metal dealers or things like that. It's pretty hard to mark it in situ. 2 of those, 2 glass smashings on Quarry High Street. That's pretty, I would say you might hope that somebody would notice that and call it on a high street, but nobody did. 1 theft of a number plate, which hasn't been used in crime yet, but that is often the reason for stealing number plates. 1 windscreen wiper stolen, whether that is retribution or whether it's to replace a part that's missing. And again, this just goes on, in no way of being able to find a trend in location or pattern. 3 vans targeted for tools being stolen out the back. And I would say if anybody's watching, come to a police station or go to some of the car garages and get the sticker that says no tools left in this van overnight. Very clear advert on there, and make sure your locks are good and secure. And then 3 entry unknown and items stolen, and that comes back to some of the fobs, and you might have to help me here with the wording, but the electrical devices that can trip a vehicle, causing it to open. So a real wide base there on motor vehicles. And going on to the other crimes in the area, to highlight, quite high, 8 burglary dwellings, 7 theft of motor vehicles, and 6 theft shops and stores, which is very low and I'm very pleased with. But I am disappointed with the motor vehicle side of things, and that would be, unless you want to steer me in a different direction, or if anybody's going to tweet through and tell me otherwise, I'd like to focus on motor vehicles for the next month. Even if it is more crime prevention that I can do from a neighbourhood side of things, or looking at the offender patterns, see if there's somebody new on our area, see if there's somebody old come back to our area, maybe do some plainclothes work. That I would like to suggest will go up as my priority for the month. Is there anything you would like to suggest as a priority? Okay.
That was us all.
Well, yeah, I think so. It gets us out and about, out into the evenings.
Exactly my evenings, so I don't actually know whether my car's got it. I can
Oh, because they're built in on new cars, aren't they?
I'm not sure of this.
I'll ask some
Insurance. It's going around, hasn't it?
See my blank face. Can't know everything about everything. While we're having a little break in my brain. Neil, has anybody tweeted?
There's been no tweets yet.
Okay, well that doesn't
No,
mean
they
there won't
might
be.
know about it, bless you.
Somebody might tweet in now. There's a challenge. So it is the summer holidays, the children have broken up, the teenagers have broken up, the pre-adults have broken up. We can now enjoy a summer of morning, noon and night policing. However, what I would say, because it's the favourite time of year for all police officers to take a holiday themselves, is our antisocial behaviour logs are really good, and good as in low. Quite quick wins in terms of looking at the problem and very smoothly being able to advise the people and move on. For example, you've been out.
Oh, yeah, doing the salt lights patrolling. Obviously, with the seasonal issues, we do have problems around the salt lights area with the younger kids who have just broken up from school.
You get it cool and drizzly rain.
Yeah, it's on and off. Yeah, yeah. I've been getting out on site patrols because we know that this happens every year. First day of the holidays, I went round and caught a couple of kids straight away trying to light fires. So that's going to be on our radar as well. They've been apprehended and warned, and parents will be visited as well. So
yeah, we've done a bit of work in the run-up. You know, we've talked about making sure we've got good access points, fast access, speak to fire. Everybody's got the locks and the codes and the people to contact to get onto the salt wells if we need to do it in a rapid response kind of way. And that's not just fires, but people swimming as well.
Yeah, we've been up to the reservoir as well to have a chat with the guys who run like the clubhouse there to see if they've had any problems as of yet. So far, it's so good.
Where was the mine? Was it Dudley North?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
But that's the sort of thing that we want to avoid happening at our reservoir as well. So that's where we will patrol
That
that.
would be where this week,
I'm not sure.
did you go for the ball?
Yeah, that's what it was, because it's young
Football,
so yeah, such a shame. And what I would say for people who are watching this is catching up, or if you have across this YouTube video because you are looking at our website or looking to contact us, please, throughout the summer, if you're suffering with antisocial behaviour, because your windows are open or because you're out in the garden or, you know, later nights, things like that, just make contact with us. And if we can move quickly on things, generally we have a much better chance of appealing to people before temper spray and crosswords are said and relationships break down. It's much easier if we can intervene, and it might just be to give some advice as to how you can deal with the situation before we have to get involved. It's a really good way of doing it in the summer. And with crime prevention, really goes down, leaving windows of houses open and then not checking when you are going out, leaving your shed open because you're using it much more frequently. You must think about, are you going to lock your bike within your shed and then lock your shed? It's double locking things that will slow thieves down. And it's just thinking that people are out and about later and later in the warmer evenings without looking as suspicious as they might do on a cold, dark night. So it's still paying attention and being vigilant throughout the night, really. The final thing I want to talk about, and then I'd like to see what you want to talk to me about, is just a quick conversation about social media. And we've had a couple of incidents, I think force-wide, but also seeing a storm on social media about an incident that has happened. And my example is about child abductions and how quickly it can get whipped up on social media, as in a suspicious car has pulled up, spoken to a child has run home, reported details, and then suddenly there's a frenzy of everybody in Quarry Bank area, and lots of communities have shared Facebook groups or things like that, and we've had watch out for this vehicle or watch out for these men in, and it's something where we have to intervene quickly, but sometimes we just don't know that that has even started. People aren't ringing us, and there can then be vigilante kind of operations going into place. And the example I give is that one of them that suddenly had a huge amount of activity on Facebook was a family friend collecting a child from the side of the road. And so it's about perception as well. And so my kind of advice would be, if you really think it looks suspicious, not just to put it on social media, but to call the police as well, because we are the ones who, with our partners, jointly can move fast on this. It seems all well and good to put it out on social media, but there has to be an alert to us rather than, 3,000 comments later being told about it and then what were we doing about it? And my answer would be, we can only do about it what we know about it. Yeah. So obviously we need to learn about it, because these things are going to appear more and more frequently. I feel, not in terms of the abduction, that's my example of it, but in terms of Facebook groups, putting comments out there, really. And there are ways that people, if they're keen to be involved in crime, come and talk to us. You can do a street watch or a neighbourhood watch. There are ways to be proactive in a very modern world now and use all the social media and all those kind of computer-based immediate responses. Work with us And, you know, we can do things so much more quickly. So those are all my notes. Have we had any tweets now? Nothing. That's a shame. Next meeting, 6:30, Wednesday, the 26th of August. It will be here. We are then going to have to change the meetings because we have hugged, and we talked about it last time, but I'll just explain it. The Quarry Bank for Briley Hill, Merry Hill, which is interesting and a little bit different for us. And also we cover the Wordsley team when they have their days off. So it's a huge things we're trying to share out so that with two teams sharing it, there's never a day off between us. So there's some permanent contact. Obviously, our knowledge base is going to be Quarry Bank and Dudley Wood for those very small matters that maybe you've dealt with and you just can deal with them immediately. But in terms of the PACT meetings, and the reason why I explain it is that we will start rotating them soon. So we'll be here 1 month, next month Briley Hill, following month Wordsley. So you can choose to come 3 monthly to your local one or watch monthly the live broadcast. And there's no other way of saying that this is going to have to be the future of us being accessible, contactable, you know, but just working a bit smarter, really. So, Frank, is there anything that you'd like to add?
That's pretty much it. Just to say, like, with the next meeting, it's not out there yet on our Twitter page, but we will tweet the link shortly. As soon as this meeting's finished, we'll set up the next one for availability to watch from home.
So I'm going to put that on the website and just have a bit of a think about how we can have an impact on that. And I would like to keep the public space protection order, which is, we call it extra road, but really it's all the roads off and around that school. It has to stay as our priority based on the work we're doing and the number of calls. So that is a really demand. I think it's quite nice to have a balance between the two. So over to you. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Not all my personal views, because as you know, I represent Cradle Road and Watch as well.
I know you do.
I've been asked to bring up a bunch of emails, but he's becoming a pain again.
Okay.
We went through a bad time with it. It went down. It's getting worse again.
Okay.
There are issues that I need to speak to you about.
Okay.
But there's some things I'd rather not say while people could be listening, because some of them are a bit personal.
Right.
I don't know how far you actually want me to go.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask a couple of questions because I think it might be interesting for people who are watching. Is it vehicles or people?
People really.
Okay. Would it be good if I visited the DPS there and we did some walkthroughs?
That is what I was going to suggest, and
okay.
go through things that
That's a neighbourhood
yeah, but
facility I can offer.
Whether
Yeah.
or not it was something you would do with your last time we actually held a meeting in there, which Bill was actually present at, and
Okay.
another police officer who's now I can't remember.
Okay.
And we came to a reasonably amicable conclusion after a bit of arguing, but it was quite clear the DPS there at the time didn't actually know the conditions of the licence, and I suspect the same is happening now. They're pushing it.
Okay, let me go and check the conditions of their
I
licence.
can tell you what the conditions of the licence are, because
And
I paid the £23 to have a copy of the operating
Have you got it with
schedule.
you?
I haven't, but I know.
You know what then, we'll talk about that in a bit, but I will promise a walkthrough and a visit to the DPS and a report back at the next meeting. Okay?
I think it is a sort of temporary one at the moment now, because the property, you probably noticed, the freehold is up for sale.
Okay, are they living above the property?
I don't think they are anymore. And I think that is possibly part of the issue, that the person who is there now probably don't really care.
No.
It's a caretaker manager rather than the property, yes.
Well, they might care if they have them in mind. So couple of months ago, we talked about some shooting coming across the back gardens.
I asked my wife and my neighbour, to be perfectly honest, they both heard it.
Yeah.
And I have once, but to be perfectly honest, it is very, very difficult to determine which way it's coming from.
Neil, do you want to
We,
just update?
we suspect
Yes.
this side, that back onto our gardens.
We found out it's from, it's Orchard,
Orchard Road,
Orchard Road,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of the houses. And one of your neighbours called up as well.
Yeah, I think it was Dennis.
Possibly lady,
Yeah.
yeah.
That might be Dennis.
We went and visited a couple of, knocked on a couple of doors.
Because he found an half-dead pigeon shot in his garden.
Right, there was a couple of doors, and there was a young lad who had been shooting in his garden, and he did say a couple of the shots had gone a bit astray. I spoke to his mum with the presence of him, and he's agreed to stop doing that. And to be fair, since then, I haven't had any calls into the station. I spoke to the lady who rang previously.
I want to ask you for his address, because I know you couldn't tell me, but is it sort of toward, that I live on the odd side of Craigmore Road, and my garden backs on to the orchard. Yeah, would it have been somewhere like that?
Good, so that's
Hopefully
One
that's
done,
something like
okay.
we have had a word. He's allowed to shoot in his perimeter of his garden. Obviously, we haven't going into trees or neighbours'
Yeah,
gardens.
because my neighbour is a member of the book club, and he thinks, look, they stand the slab up right down, and he's got no chance of going out.
no, that's great then, isn't it? And would you like to add anything?
No, I'm just,
Okay.
that's the main, the point of the world, it is a
Okay.
really thorn in the side.
Okay, well, that's my job, so let us take that one on. I'm going to close the meeting down, thank everybody for watching, and just keep reminding really just to make contact with us, and we will see you at the next one, so thank you very much.
And you think, no.
Yeah,